Introduction, take one.
Welcome to the Regal Eagle Report.
We are Team 2869, a diverse and inclusive team located at Bethpage High School.
This is a podcast where we discuss the growth of our team throughout this year's game, Charged Up, as well as interviewing a number of international teams.
We're aiming for this podcast to be an outlet to interact with other teams to share our ideas and thoughts.
For this week's episode, we'll be discussing our team's origins and the amazing accomplishments we've made in the past years, as well as listing all the things we've been doing for this year's build season.
So after 2021, in 2022, it was a pretty big year. Our school opened once again. We were able to meet in the lab. We got an influx of new members because of COVID. They all wanted to join the robotics team, but because it was virtual, not a lot of people did. So right at the start, we had a huge amount of support from many of the members. Many parents came, and they were a huge support. So thanks to them, we actually got 2 different awards that year, and yeah.
So we actually won at SBPLI 1. We won the Judges Award, and at SBPLI 2 we were the winners of the regional, and we also won Engineering Inspiration. So I would say 2022 was a really successful year for us.
Yep, 2022 was a successful year. It was the first time that we won a regional,
Yes.
So that was
huge.
That was huge.
And I feel like it was a great way to come back after like the period of COVID and stuff. Like it was a great way, and going to World Championships was so fun.
Yep.
I think it was one of the best experiences of my life.
Wow, so it looks like in 15 years, Team 2869 has been really successful.
Yep.
So Umesh, you've been here for 4 years now. What has been your favorite part of being on the team, and what have you learned from the most?
So when I came in 9th grade, I knew absolutely nothing.
Most of us.
I knew so little that the junior, Saj, he had to teach me how to screw a screw into a metal bracket because I could not figure that out. And I didn't know how to use I couldn't use a screw, I couldn't use a wrench, I couldn't do any of this. And he kept on yelling at me. And at the same time, I did a lot of operations work. I did a few sponsor calls and stuff like that. And from there, I did a lot of work. And then when build season started, because Rampage was a huge thing, I helped out the Rampage build as well. And there too, I struggled a lot with using a drill. I think I still have a few scars from improperly using drills. And I have not told anyone this, but whenever I got these injuries, I told absolutely no one, so I just bled.
Oh my god.
And I just got my sleeve and just covered it up. And I was like, yeah, I'm not bleeding. I can still work. I don't need a Band-Aid.
The determination.
You could call it that, or you could just call being an idiot. So that was fun. And then when COVID happened, it was all virtual, so I was upset about that. But the following year when it was virtual, I was able to get more active. And then when I came back in my junior year, it was I was one of the few people who still had experience. So I had to learn everything from scratch again. And from there, I steadily improved. And then this year, I'm build team captain. So
you really worked your way out.
Yeah. From bleeding out to now doing even more idiot things. So, yeah, you could say that. I guess my favorite part would just be meeting many different people. Like Ria, I had not known before I joined the team. And when I met Ria in 11th grade.
When I was in 10th grade.
Yeah, when you were in 10th grade, it was a quick friendship. It was very fast. And then this year we work together a lot. We do a lot of stuff together. So a lot of the friends I make, that's incredible.
I think my favorite part of seeing you from being on robotics for the last 2 years is your dance moves. That seriously need some work on though, but it's fine.
I did pretty well in Just Dance.
I don't think so. Let's agree to disagree.
Okay, so thank you, Umesh and Ria, for joining us on this segment, and stay tuned because they're going to be coming back to talk with Matthew in our other segment.
So welcome back to the segment. I'm back again with our captains, Umesh and Ria, and I think it's about time we talk about kickoff. So how do you guys think we performed during kickoff? I know I had a lot of fun. A lot of people showed up. Like, how do you think we were doing?
So, ignoring all the advertisements, the beginning of kickoff.
Umesh, you can't say that.
Okay.
How we did.
Fine,
How did we
fine,
perform
fine.
after
Umesh,
the
you
video?
can't say
Fine.
You know, the people in the advertisements have feelings too.
Okay,
So
okay.
that might have been someone's 5 minutes of fame.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay, I won't talk about the advertisements. Once the game was revealed, I knew immediately that everyone here would be excited. But what I didn't expect was how excited they would be. Because I saw, the moment the game was announced, I saw people taking out their notebooks, taking out their pens, and just start writing stuff down.
Literally, everyone took out their things and was like designing robots.
We all had a brainstorm session.
Yeah.
I know, back in 108,
No,
we were
like-
all just like,
Yeah, so right after, we were like, we had to control ourselves because we were like, hey, we should go take a picture in our lab. We just cleaned it 5 minutes
Yeah.
before, and we were all like, hold on, and we're just talking with each other about what the game is. We got the manual, we're like reading through it, and we were like, we have to take a picture.
yeah.
It took us like 10 minutes to like get everyone to like get up and like go to the lab for a picture, and like no one wanted to take the picture. Everyone was like, we have to design. It was like,
So right after, it was a scramble. We all just ran over to 108. There we sat down and we split up. We all just spent some time reading through the manual. We had a few people thinking of strategy already, a few people documenting, getting the CAD files and all that. So overall, I think it was very successful. And I think I think a lot of people enjoyed kickoff. They learned a lot of things. I know you did. I heard a lot of your questions. So.
Yes, a lot of them.
So when we got the parts, everyone was playing around with them, and when we got the chance, we finally actually got to play the game, which was the most fun
Oh
part.
yeah. Building off of that, I know we incorporated the game to more of a humanized version, which is pretty self-explanatory in itself. We were pretending to be the robots, you know.
Yeah.
I know you guys were there, but how do you think that helped us like maybe think for like strategy-wise, or like maybe how the robot will function?
Yeah. So.
I think that like put us in the perspective, like in like the shoes of the robot almost, like how like you would want to, like we were on like rolly carts and stuff,
Mhm.
so we were like moving exactly like how a robot would, and like seeing how fast it takes for you to get like across the field and get the field elements, like put them on the nodes and stuff, like definitely got like a sense of that, like how fast a robot has to move, which helped with like strategy and stuff.
And I think a most important thing that we got out of that was that we worked together as a team. The new members, they were here for the first time for kickoff. They haven't had a chance for kickoff, and getting them to play them playing the game with others on the team, and then us like competing to see who would win. It really gave us. We built up the team, and we're now like much more stronger. And at the same time, it also gave the idea of spreading ideas with each other. One person may think differently than another, so as a person playing the game, you might have a different perspective than someone who's watching the game. So the people watching the game, they gave their ideas, people playing the game gave their ideas, and together we were able to come up with a solid strategy of what we wanted to do, and from there we were able to build on and get a stronger robot. So based on what we've learned, we took note of all that strategy, and we're working through it right now.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, as a freshman, I really liked how it all felt, like the whole like atmosphere you guys created, like we were indulged in the game, think about the game, and like how can like everybody got really a chance to pitch their own ideas. Everybody had a
Yes.
voice in how they wanted to. I know we formed groups.
Yep.
We came up with a whole idea. Like this kickoff was a very like successful kickoff,
Yes,
I would
yes.
say. But sometimes not all these things are. Is there anything you maybe like, it was great, but is there anything maybe you wished like, oh, maybe this thing could have been done, or was it like just the way it was?
I honestly enjoyed it. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I definitely think like the incorporation of like humanizing the game, like that's definitely something that we are gonna keep for like the future and stuff, like as long as we can do it. So yeah, I think it went perfectly.
It went really well, so.
It went better than we expected.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
Yep.
that's great. I'm glad to hear it. like you said, that'll really help us.
Yep.
We keep mentioning it helped us think about the robot.
Yes.
We eventually did come up with our design. So how do you think that's going so far? Like just like with the mechanical aspect, I believe you're like the mechanical captain. How do you think that's like how it's really going so far?
So in terms of robot, we have our idea, we have our drive frame. We came up with many different prototypes. You've probably seen a lot of them on
my
Discord.
gosh,
We're like
yes.
talking on it all the time. If you just look at them on a certain day and you're like, hey, what's going? I'm not able to come. Like, what's going on? What's going on in lab? And you just look in Discord. You'll know what's going on better than others.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that we're just talking about. We're like, we come up with many different ideas. We were looking at robot in 3 days designs and other stuff. So we were like wheelie intake, piston intake. How are we gonna do the piston intake? And now we have a solid strategy.
All right.
We know what we're gonna do, and right now we're assembling everything together. We're in the final stages, so we're hoping that in 2 or 3 weeks, we can get our robot fully assembled and start driving practice. Cause March 5th is coming up. Regal Eagle
Yes,
Rampage.
We have like
Shameless plug. Come to Rampage.
Yes. We have what? 32, 33 days?
29 days in March, and then
No,
there's
28 days.
28 days.
So,
This is the
Mash, I
first-
just know the months of the year. It's 28 days in February.
Oh yeah, this isn't a leap
This
year.
isn't a
You
leap
can
year.
build a pneumatic system
And then
just
it's March
fine,
5th,
but
so it's
months of the
33
year.
days till Rampage.
Ooh,
So
33.
33 days to get our robot done.
you guys think we're good? You're gonna do it?
We got
We
this.
got this.
We got
this.
Yeah. Well, about that kind of thing with like Rampage and stuff, like how do like those events you think like help like us as like a community that come together like in like this in like the atmosphere first? Like we host we host kickoff and with our own team. Sorry, we host Rampage. Like how do you
Yep.
think that like helps everybody like because we also with people with other teams.
I think Rampage is definitely helpful in like allowing teams to troubleshoot they might come across issues that they see on their robot that day, and that's like right before like a lot of the regionals near here, so they are able to quickly find their issues and stuff. And it also allows us to like connect and network with other people. Like I feel like we've made so many friends and connections through just these events of seeing the community and stuff. Because after all, First is a community. Like
Yeah.
how many
Yeah.
English?
So, I think an important aspect about Rampage that we do is, like Ria said, it gives a chance to robots to troubleshoot. So, a lot of teams, because on Long Island there's not really a week zero, and the nearest week zero is like far upstate, it's difficult for Long Island teams to know how their robot will do in an actual, at like a competition setting. So, I think it gives a good opportunity for robots to understand what can our robot do efficiently? What can it do? Because we theorize everything. We can do it in our lab. You can do it in your lab. But it might not work in an actual competitive setting. Like, you don't know what could
Yeah.
go wrong amongst all robots. So it gives a good idea to other teams. Like, oh, we miscalculated this. Oh, we ignored this aspect. We should take into account this. How can we improve it? And because many of the Long Island regionals are the following week, like 2 weeks later, and other regionals are a little bit later as well, it gives many of the teams the opportunity to understand this is where we can improve and this is what we can do.
Yeah, and I also think like Rampage is really beneficial to those teams that may not have the space to actually build the field and like try it out before competition. So competition isn't the first time they're actually trying out the stuff. So I definitely think Rampage is a good event to come to, just like in Rampage.
And then at the
Shameless plug.
same time, Rampage, just
The
the food.
I knew you were gonna say the food.
The food.
Oh my god.
The parents make
Encore's mom's mac and cheese.
yes.
So
so
I
good.
had that last year. I came last year. So
texted-
good.
I think my mom texted her like asking for the recipe. I literally had it for a week straight.
It was-
Like,
It was
it was
food.
really good.
The food is
So good.
amazing. The dance breaks we had.
Oh my god, the dance breaks.
I remember.
were so
I've
fun.
seen videos of
Ah,
those.
you literally get a workout from just Rampage. Like my legs were hurting.
The number of
could not.
times we've done the Cotton Eye Joe at Rampage,
No, we did it like 4 times.
I couldn't feel my legs afterwards.
And it's like the same movement for like the whole 5 or like 3 minutes.
6
long.
minutes?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and Macarena. Remember there was a team from Infernobotics. The guy with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
The orange.
Oh, yes. I love him. I
Oh
love
my
him.
God.
Shout out to him. I
Yeah.
hope he's doing well. Like,
Hopefully we'll see him again this year.
yes.
Yes.
So, So I mean, I think we were talking about this before. That right before camp we were talking about how we've had a great number of teams. I think we have more teams than we have in previous years this year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This year we currently have 16 teams signed up for Rampage, which is incredible. We're so excited.
Now is that including us, or is that like 16 other teams?
16
other
other
teams.
oh.
So we have 17.
Very impressive.
Yes.
So,
it's
like-
going to be a crowded place.
So, Rampage seems to be like the place to be. It
Yes.
seems like.
Yep.
It seems like it's the community. Like we all come together
Yeah.
in name of like first, and then like you said about kickoff. Like the start of the season was very successful as well.
Yeah.
And we're
So-
hoping for a successful end of the season
Yes.
with world champs.
Real quick, what do you guys think is aimed to hit by the end of the season? What
World
do you guys
champs.
World
think?
Championships.
World championships.
Yes.
Think we can
And-
make that leap to first
And
place?
I think this year we're gonna win world championships.
We're gonna win.
Yep,
All right.
we're gonna win world
Yep.
championships.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Umesh. When we win, we're gonna play this back, and we're gonna be like, Umesh, you knew from
We're
day like
Today,
Like-
February 1st, 2023.
121 days in, you knew.
Yeah. Tomorrow's Groundhog Day.
No, we'll see.
Anyway, but yes, we are going to world championships.
All right. Well,
Right.
thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate talking to you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for
So
watching.
now we're here with Russell, who is one of our lead mechanics at the lab. We're going to talk to him about how build season's going on from mechanical aspects of the team. So Russell, how is it going?
Well, since the start of the year, we've been extremely busy setting up and reestablishing the lab after the expansion over the summer. It's amazing that we got this expansion because it's given us so much more room to work in the lab, and we're not all over each other and like fighting for space. So with this space, it's been a really big priority to make the best use of it, while also now making all of our prototypes and designing for the build season.
So everything, after the expansion was probably cluttered. How did you guys deal with the clutter?
So yes, there was so much clutter, just buckets and barrels and boxes everywhere, filled to the brim, unorganized. So it was a very daunting task. For up till only a few weeks ago, most days were just spent. Each work day in the lab was like 3 hours just organizing and cleaning. But it was a great experience because for all the new members of the mechanical team, they were able to better understand what parts we have and what the parts did, and really learn the names and uses of all these. So it was a great learning experience, though it was very tedious, and some found it extremely boring.
Definitely. Do you implement any type of tactics while organizing, or was it just you did whatever you thought of?
So, when it came to organizing, I prioritized putting people in the tasks they feel more comfortable with. So many people would rather be hands-on, so we were dismantling all of our past structures from the Regal Eagle Rampage, while many others who were okay with sitting and had a keen eye to detail, those were the kids separating the parts individually. We wanted to separate the room between more hardware and wood, and have them separated from where our larger machines are, so it really wouldn't mix too much. As of years past, it was too close together.
So Russell, what are you most looking forward to in this build season?
So, what I was most looking forward to was just the announcement of the game, because as head mechanic, the opportunity to start designing the parts and building robots, that's what I find the most enjoyment in. So being able to sit down with my fellow members of the robotics team and starting to CAD and prototype, for me that's what I find the most fun and exciting. So now seeing it all come together in some of our prototypes, whether we 3D printed them or cut them with our CNC, it's amazing to see it all come together, and I'm looking forward to especially Rampage. Rampage is always one of the best highlights of the year, especially organizing it and our school running it. But Yeah, Rampage, regionals, it's all. I'm so excited.
Worlds.
Worlds. That is the goal.
Wait, guys, pose for the.
So now we have Dia and Mirage, who've been working really hard on our prototyping and the mechanical aspect of our team. So, how's build season going so far?
So I would say it's been a pretty good build season so like right now because we got a couple prototypes built. We've been CADing a lot, kind of trying to get some of those mechanisms finalized, and we've worked on two prototypes for our scoring mechanism so far. One being like a telescoping arm, so it'll just shoot out, and we have another grabbing mechanism for our cones and cubes.
Do you want to elaborate more on that?
So when it comes for the grabber, we are basically we're gonna use these like two pistons that would squish the cube or cone, depending on what we want, and it will basically allow us to have firm grasp of the actual object.
And for the cone specifically, we're gonna pick it off. Like when we pick it up, it's gonna like be picked up from the center of gravity. That way, it can like go back into its original standing up position. So it's.
So I know you guys are using the pneumatic system for that. So how like it's something new that you guys are getting into. Do you guys think you have experience with it?
So when it comes with pneumatics, I don't have much experience, but over the off season, I kind of just learned a little bit about pneumatics, kind of built a little test bench, because pneumatics are very important when it comes to FRC, because we make designs like this. So for like pneumatics, we don't have much experience, but I think we'll be okay with the amount of documentation that's out there.
There's a lot. So, how have you kept everyone involved, like freshmen, in helping with mechanical and prototyping?
So like while we were working with prototyping with our different like prototyping designs, for example, the telescopic arm and like the grabber that we're building, we split up into different groups. So like for example, like if I was working with the grabbing arm group and while Mirage was working with the telescopic arm, we'd have a few freshmen or sophomores that would tag along with each of the groups that would just help out and like learn with like the upperclassmen and basically just learn and see how the build season goes and progresses.
And for me specifically, I've been working with a freshman, Aryan, and he has a lot of CAD experience, and we've been basically working on the telescoping arm, and he's been, making the holes, because I don't have much CAD experience, but he has a decent bit, so we've been working together and just getting that telescoping arm sorted out, because it's probably something that we've never done in the past, so it's one of the more complex mechanisms.
Do you guys think you're leaning towards one like prototype more than the other? Like you would rather prefer this than the other or something like that?
Yeah, so we know that we're going with the telescoping arm as like our arm mechanism that's going to be reaching out and like grabbing and then we have a separate grabber, which we're like we mentioned before, the piston grabber. So it has pistons on both sides on a railing, like on a sliding rail. So on linear rails, which each piston pulls this way and like it goes like this and it squishes the cone or the cube, depending on which one we're going for.
Insert clip now.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Is that
Last
good?
question. Last question.
So, what are you looking forward to the most in this build season, or this year in general?
So for me, it'll definitely come down to going to the competitions and kind of, that's my favorite part of robotics are the competitions, because for me specifically, my strong point and the thing I love to do is strategize and think strategically and like scouting and all that. So for me, when I go to the competition, that's when I'm going to use a lot of the skills I have and hopefully like win as many matches as possible. And I would say as long as we have a good time with the team, we keep morale up, we'll have a very good competition season.
Yeah, I just can't wait to actually see the robot. Like we've been working on prototypes for the last few weeks. I can't see it like actually come like see it all together like on the field, and I can't wait like Mirage mentioned, like going to the competitions. It's such a fun experience, and like meeting all the new teams like from literally different countries. It's crazy and it's a lot of fun, so I can't wait.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and we hope you guys can come on other interviews later on.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
One.
Now we're here with Arden and Arsh, who are one of our lead people in CAD, and they're going to talk about how their models help with prototyping. So your first question is going to be, how do you think your CAD models are helping with the prototype itself with the mechanical team?
So I'll take this question. The models we made in CAD, especially like the intake, as well as the whole robot and the drivetrain, it especially helped us when we had to decide where to make cuts and how to assemble all the pieces together, especially because we're using a new drivetrain, the Swerve. it helps us a lot in dimensions and everything, and the layout of mechanisms on the robot, the arm, like the intake, all of that stuff being made in CAD first helps us get the exact measurements and lets us cut it to how we need.
That's good. Great. Okay. So what got you guys interested in CAD, and how'd you get the experience you had?
I'll take this one. So what got me interested in CAD is that basically in middle school, the former robotics coach, he ran a woodworking club, and we basically CADed whatever we wanted to make and then built it. So that basically got me interested in CAD, and I made a cutting board, and that was like my first CAD thing. And from there, I just always enjoyed it. So here I am.
Okay.
Do you think you guys are using CAD more often now than before, or do you think you've been using it the same?
I feel like they've been using it more this year, but you guys can answer.
I'd say so, yeah. So especially in this year, we've had a lot more focus on CAD since we've had in previous years. Since we're structuring our time very well this season, and having time for design in CAD is really important. So we've been focusing on that a lot more than we have in previous years.
And we've been trying to like document everything we do in CAD just so that it's there and we know for like future.
Do you guys think your training groups helped you guys with this?
Yeah, I'll take this one. I definitely think that training groups helped because it basically gives us like a CAD 101 of sorts, and it's like everything you need to know for CAD that will be used. And if you don't know something, you learn it along the way. So whatever we need to get like started, that's what we got.
Do you guys enjoy what you guys do?
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, so what is something you guys are looking forward to the most this build season, or this year in general?
I think for this build season, I'm really looking forward to getting the swerve drive, like driving around, since that's something we've seen lots of robots do last year, but we've never had it done in our team's history. So that's a really cool accomplishment for us to do this year, as well as, just being able to have driver practice at Regal Eagle Report. So.
Oh shoot!
No way.
Okay, so
Aryan, what about you?
I think the most exciting part this year is, I don't know, it's my first year, so like the whole thing.
What are you? Okay.
Do you like the
Okay, that makes
experience
sense.
of being
Are you guys
what's the
excited for
experience being
Regal
a
Eagle
freshman?
Rampage?
Yeah,
No, you say that.
Rampage!
Say that.
Very exciting.
I was gonna ask that.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry.
was literally gonna ask that.
Make sure to
No,
sign
we're
up.
gonna
Can we
make an
put like a
announcement
plug?
on that at the end.
Like make sure to sign
No,
up,
we're gonna-
register your
we
team.
were-
Oh, that's it. We're done. You have to say thank you for being here and get out.
No, I.
All right,
Thank you for
peace.
having
you
us.
say? Okay, we will edit that out. No,
No,
wait, Aryan.
Not yet, bro.
Rose had too much sugar. Okay,
I
go.
think he's a freshman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Facts.
Thank you so much for coming on. Okay.
3,
Sorry.
2, 1.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for coming on, and we hope you guys enjoy this interview and come for more.
Yeah, come for more.
Of course.
Thanks
Bye.
for having us.
You didn't do the whoosh whoosh this time. Fine. Fine.
So just another reminder that in Matthew's episode, you guys heard about Regal Eagle Rampage. So don't forget to come, and hope you guys are just as excited as we are for the rest of build season. Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 1 of this podcast, and we hope you're just as excited for the second one.
That was so